The ongoing political stalemate in the ruling Nepal Communist Party has remained intact as another round of discussion yesterday turned inconclusive. The opposing faction continues to demand for Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's resignation, while the executive chief has refused to relent to pressure. In this scenario, the party's standing committee meeting scheduled for today might prove decisive to break the ice. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Another round of chairman duo meeting of the ruling Nepal Communist Party turns fruitless. All eyes on the scheduled standing committee meeting today. "167 new cases of COVID-19 reported yesterday to take the infection tally in the country to 17,344. Plasma donation being practiced to treat infected patients. The government incurring huge losses in 103 of the total 113 public companies in the country. Many companies on the verge of bankruptcy. And Real Madrid clinched the Spanish La Liga title after an unassailable 7-point lead over second-placed Barcelona. Claimed the title after a 2-1 win over Villarreal and Barcelona's 2-1 loss to Osasuna. Executive Chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal and Senior Leader Madhav Kumar Nepal of the ruling Nepal Communist Party have yet again demanded for the resignation of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli from the post of premiership. In the meeting held at the Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar yesterday afternoon, in a bid to settle the ongoing intra-party dispute, leader duo Dahal and Nepal urged Prime Minister Oli to step down to break the political stalemate. We have more in this report.
Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has maintained his stand of not bowing down to any pressure and give up on his dual posts of party chair and the Prime Minister. The meeting ended inconclusively as Premier Oli rejected the demand of the leader duo. The meeting, meanwhile, had lasted for more than 2 hours. Senior leader Nepal joined the Thursday meeting as both the chairmen had failed to produce consensus despite holding 7 one-on-one meetings earlier. The disgruntled faction led by Executive Chairman Dahal is demanding Prime Minister Oli to step down from either of the posts. However, Premier Oli has not budged from his stand of not relenting to pressure. Prior to Thursday meeting between the two chairmen at the Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar, the Dahal-led faction had gathered at his Kumaltar residence in the morning. During the meeting, leaders had opined that party's pride was at stake if Prime Minister Oli did not step down. The intra-party conflict of the party has further worsened as top brass leaders fail to reach a consensus despite rigorous efforts to end the stalemate. Meanwhile, sources have informed that the standing committee meeting scheduled for Friday would not be postponed, suggesting that the meeting on Friday could well prove decisive. The party's standing committee meeting, which has been postponed time and again since 24th of June, was earlier deferred until Friday.
Nepal confirmed 167 new coronavirus cases yesterday. Speaking at the regular press meeting yesterday afternoon, spokesperson for the Health Ministry, Dr. Jageshwar Gautam, informed that Nepal's COVID-19 tally has now reached 17,344 with the addition of the 167 new cases. Thanusha reported the highest 26 infections, followed by 15 in Okhaldhunga. Kailali and Kanchanpur reported 14 cases each, while Banke and Dadeldura reported 8 cases each. Meanwhile, 213 COVID-19 patients were discharged from different hospitals and isolation centers yesterday, taking the total number of recoveries to 11,249. The recovery rate in the country stands at 64.85%. According to the Health Ministry, 6,056 individuals are in isolation centers, while 23,500 people are in quarantine centers across the country. The death toll in the country due to COVID-19 stands at 39. The world has been reeling under the COVID-19 pandemic for the past 6 months. However, any medicines or vaccines to cure the virus hasn't been discovered yet. Various alternatives are being practiced to save COVID-19 patients across the world. Among the procedures being implemented, plasma donation from a recovered patient is now widely practiced. With the daily rise in the number of infection cases, plasma donation is seen as an alternative treatment for COVID-19 patients in Nepal as well. The COVID-19 infection tally in Nepal has reached 17,344. Among them, 39 have succumbed to COVID-19. At the same time, new cases have made a continuous surge in the country. The World Health Organization and the Health Ministry in Nepal both have warned that despite recording a slight fall in the daily case rate in Nepal in recent days, the risk of community spread of the virus still remains high. Health experts have said serious health complications can occur at any time in COVID-19 patients after contracting the infection. In critical cases, patients are treated through plasma therapy, which is under practice around the world. It is necessary for a patient's body to develop antibodies to fight against the infection. According to doctors, when plasma of a recovered individual is given to a new patient, the plasma helps develop antibodies more rapidly, helping the patient fight against the virus. Blood is collected from recovered individuals and plasma is extracted from the collected blood. Currently, there are over 6,000 patients undergoing treatment, whereas among the infected, 11,249 have already recovered from COVID-19. Meanwhile, the government has appealed to the recovered individuals to donate plasma to help for the treatment of critical patients in ventilators and isolation centers. According to the government, interested individuals can donate their plasma at any location where COVID-19 test is conducted. It is viewed that the move can play a vital role in helping the government tackle the COVID-19 pandemic. The government has shared investment worth almost 300 billion rupees in 113 public enterprises, including 45 public companies. However, the government is incurring huge losses in 103 of the total public companies, while it has been able to make merely 20.41 billion rupees profit from the rest of the 10 companies. Although the government has shared investment worth 296.92 billion rupees in 113 state institutions, it was able to receive profit from only 10 organizations worth 80 billion rupees investment. The remaining 103 enterprises, including Dairy Development Corporation and Udaipur Cement Industries Limited, failed to earn profit in the last fiscal year. These companies are on the verge of bankruptcy due to political intervention and weak management, among other loopholes. According to the 57th annual report of the Office of the Auditor General, the government has earned profit worth 10.64 billion rupees from Nepal Oil Corporation in the last fiscal year, followed by Citizen Investment Fund, Nepal Rashtra Bank, Nepal Telecom, and Civil Aviation Authority Nepal, among others, that amount to 20.42 billion rupees of revenue. Experts have opined that the appointment of the leaderships at these public enterprises, mainly furnished under political influence instead of skill and competency, along with the unwarranted trade union interventions, have impacted the economic status of these institutions. The experts added that the scenario is unfortunate despite a high degree of commercial opportunity. These public enterprises even have to rely on the government to provide salary to their employees. There is a call on the government to reap maximum profit, given that it has invested an additional 200 billion rupees in these institutions. The government bodies have given continuation to lapses that were pointed out by the Office of the Auditor General for improvement. Several departments, including the Federal Parliament and ministries, approved projects worth 72.13 billion rupees without announcing tender against the Public Procurement Act. Likewise, the government has also been charged of illegally spending 150 billion rupees from the state coffers. The Office of the Auditor General, in its 56th annual report, raised question on the procurement worth 2.05 billion rupees by several departments under different ministries by flouting the Public Procurement Act, and had warned not to repeat such lapses again. However, according to the 57th annual report of the Office of the Auditor General, these ministries have procured materials worth 72.13 billion rupees, 35 times more than that of the last fiscal year, without calling for tender and overlooking the notice from the Office of the Auditor General. According to the report, several ministries and their departments have misused billions of rupees from the state coffers under different irrelevant headings and amplifying financial indiscipline in the country. As per the Financial Procurement Act, the government should close account books a week prior to the end of the fiscal year. However, the government has disbursed 157 billion rupees during the last week of the fiscal year, which is 14% of the total expenditure of this year. The Finance Ministry is flouting the notice of the Office of the Auditor General to control the expenditure during the end of the fiscal year. The thriving financial indiscipline in the country has only challenged the government's policy of good governance and financial transparency. Organizations associated with the tourism sector have appealed to the government to lift the restrictions on the sector by observing maximum security measures. Some 30 umbrella organizations working in the tourism sector, including Hotel Association of Nepal and Trekking Association of Nepal, urged the government to ease the restrictions on the tourism sector, stating that the losses incurred in their business were getting out of hands. The representatives of the tourism sector said the continuous shutdown has put the sector on the verge of collapse while badly denting the government revenue. They suggested that the government should not delay in taking a decision to save the tourism sector and the employment of many individuals associated in the related businesses. They have also demanded the government to resume domestic and international flights within 2 weeks. The representatives of the tourism sector said this could be a beginning point to revamp the ailing tourism sector. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the people in Kathmandu and Kavre regarding their opinion on the decision of private schools not to operate online classes and asking teachers to stay on unpaid leave. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
निजी तथा सरकारी स्कुलका शिक्षकहरूलाई पनि एउटा वातावरण बनाएर एउटा चाहिँ जुन टेक्नोलोजीहरू प्रयोग गरेर त्यसलाई चाहिँ कसरी चाहिँ विद्यार्थीहरूलाई अवेयरनेस गराउने त्यतातिर चाहिँ जानुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ।
अनलाइन क्लास त सरहरूले लिनु नै पर्छ, किनभने अब स्कुल पनि पठाउन सक्दैनौँ हामीहरू, अनि बच्चाहरू पढ्नको लागि त डामाडोलै नै हुन्छ।
बेतलबी बिरा दिनु उचित भन्न सकिँदैन, किनभने बेरोजगार अब कति शिक्षकहरू बेरोजगार हुने हो, यो उचित त मान्न सकिँदैन।
अनलाइन क्लासहरू 2-4 दिन लिँदाखेरि चाहिँ अलि राम्रै गरेर अब लिइसकेको थियो, उनीहरू पढाइमा ध्यान दिइसकेको थियो। अब फेरि अनलाइन क्लास बन्द गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अहिले बच्चाहरूलाई चाहिँ जिस्काएको जस्तो भयो।
निजी विद्यालयहरूको चाहिँ यो चाहिँ व्यावसायिक नाफामूलक संस्थाको रूपमा देखियो। शैक्षिक गुणस्तर र सम्बन्धित शिक्षकहरूको चाहिँ समस्यालाई ध्यान दिएको देखेन।
And it's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question. What's your take on the demand of tourism entrepreneurs to be allowed to run their business adopting safety measures? Your options are A, reasonable, B, risky, and C, compulsion. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.